Hello there gorgeous gamers, and welcome back to Pure Play TV, and we've got another review for you, and this time it's Catan VR for Oculus Quest, which is a new release, so we've played it and now we're sharing our thoughts on the game. This review comes from our network site purepsvr.com, check them out for all your VR gaming needs. Catan VR is based on the wildly popular board game of the same name, and by wildly popular I mean it sold over 32 million copies and has a pretty rabid fan base. Well, maybe rabid is the wrong word for board game fans, but they are definitely dedicated. Aside from the occasional game of Monopoly, Life, or Risk, I'm not much of a board game player, but how could 32 million people be wrong? Besides, it was New Game Thursday and they only wanted $15 for it, so I decided to give it a try. As I mentioned, I've never actually played the game of Catan before, so luckily there is an in-depth tutorial. I watched it once, but I was too busy checking out my sweet country-style cabin to focus, so I had to watch it again. You can change the cabin to a couple of different settings, and you can even change the paintings on the wall, but I prefer the default old-timey cabin. Playing Catan VR on the island of Catan is just too meta not to be good, right? If you're like me and you've never played Catan before, here is the basic premise. You play as a settler that needs to build cities, while trading and acquiring resources. You gain points as your settlements grow, and the first player to accrue 10 points wins. In the VR version, your first decision is to select either default or randomized game board. As a beginner, I'm still using the default. Each of the 4 players places 2 settlements, which are towns, and 2 roads on hexagonal pieces of the board. Each hexagonal piece designates a certain type of terrain, and therefore a certain type of commodity. For instance, the piece with hills on it will produce bricks, field pieces produce grain, and forest pieces produce lumber, and so on. You will want to diversify and build your settlements around multiple resources, because you can't eat bricks. No matter how many resources you can acquire on your own, you will still need to trade with the other players if you want to win. To trade, you pull up the movable tableau that shows you which resources you currently have. From there, you simply select the goods you would like to trade along with the resources you'd like to receive. The other players may agree or reject your trade or counter with their own offer. This tableau also houses the icons that you'll need to interact with to roll the dice, build new roads and settlements, and accept or deny potential trades proposed by your opponents. When you're done with this, you can simply move it out of the way so that you can focus on the game board. You'll find no sword fights and no dragons here. You won't even see tiny little people building your settlements or roads. It really is just like playing a board game with your family. Aside from the occasional tiny bird circling the game board or the dust devil swirling through the desert, the game never comes alive as you play. This feels like a missed opportunity to me. The cabin looks great and the board does too, but I would have loved to have seen the board come to life just a little as the cities and dynasties are built. Thankfully, the game is pretty damn fun, even against the AI. For the first time, Quest players can invite their friends to play, or you can play against random strangers. And it does feature crossplay with all other headsets, so there should always be a game to play. I will say that despite playing multiplayer games with strangers almost every day for years on end, playing a board game against strangers still seems kind of weird. Thankfully, the AI has provided me with all the challenges I can handle so far. These AI characters consist of people from the Catan universe, and all of them have varying play styles. Apparently, Klaus Teuber, the creator of Catan, worked closely with the developer, Experiment 7, to make sure that the AI versions of the characters behaved and played with the right personality. So some of them will have a tendency to be more aggressive and expand quickly, while another character might choose to stay to one side of the island completely. I love the idea of VR board games to keep family and friends connected as we all inevitably grow up and spread out across the world. I think Catan veterans will enjoy the VR version of Catan even if they are new to VR. It's simple to control and easy to understand, even if the game itself is still confusing for a newbie like me. The game is fun enough and challenging enough to play versus AI, but when you add the social element of playing with friends or family that you can't be in the same room with, you simply can't go wrong with Catan VR. Especially at only $15. And that's the end of this review. If you enjoyed this video, please share the love by hitting the like and subscribe buttons below, and give that bell a tap too so that you're notified whenever we've got new stuff. Be sure to go down to the info box as well for our social medias and our supporters page. I've been Chris, you've been lovely, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, bye!